Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're enjoying your day so far, and yesterday was a very spicy one on the timeline in the Call of Duty community. A lot of players going back and forth on the timeline, throwing shots left, right and centre. We're going to go through a number of different things here today, from Crimsix and TJ Halley to, well, sillier methods and some of the amateur side as well. Intrigued to hear your thoughts on it in the comment section below, because certainly this is, well, initially I thought this was kind of tongue-in-cheek, but Crimsix certainly went on a bit of a rampage across, well, Twitter and then Reddit in addition, in kind of, well, response, I suppose, to what TJ had to say in this tweet, even though initially it kind of felt like it was a little bit of friendly banter. Maybe it became something else by the time TJ responded to it. Intrigued to hear your thoughts in the comment section below for sure. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you are new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. This then is what Crimsix comes out with yesterday. So, well, Crim and TJ, former teammates on OpTic Gaming throughout Black Ops 4, didn't have the best relationship, didn't have the best season, and this is what he had to say today. Maybe they had a scrim or something against each other, and he just thought he'd, well, fire some daggers on the timeline. At TJ Halley, don't even think about me, you punk little rat. Don't speak to me, don't tweet me, don't even look at me. You are the dog excrement of my Gucci slice until you formally apologise and beg for forgiveness. You are no longer my son. I disown you. So Crimsix comes out with this initially, kind of just tongue-in-cheek, I guess, like kind of a bit of fun of the timeline. TJ then comes back with this, right? If we had Octane in Black Ops 4, I would have a real ring, not a Mickey Mouse ring like you just got. You fat mess, eat a salad. So yeah, pretty entertaining stuff. So what is going on here, of course, if you guys are unfamiliar with exactly the storyline, at the Black Ops 4 World Championship, Crimsix didn't have the best Sunday, right? He actually had a really great rest of the tournament, but on Sunday, he talked actually not too long ago on the Eavesdrop podcast that he was unwell on that Sunday. It was like, you know, never ever experienced anything like it when he was so unwell, and he actually asked the team if he could to potentially get subbed out and actually not play on that Championship Sunday. It's no secret, the Championship Sunday, he did not play well. He had like a 0.6 KD or something, but at the same time, they played a team like 100 Thieves, where they had to come up against, well, you've got Slasher, you've got Octane, and Crim talked about at the time on the Eavesdrop podcast, the fact that, you know, he had just really no chance. He was telling some of the other guys on his team, like, bring out an ICR so I can try and compete these guys, because me just having an ICR and there's two of the best ARs in the game, in Octane and Slasher on the other side, I'm just going to get destroyed no matter what I do. I need some help here, someone else to bring this out, and regardless of what I'd done, there's no way I'm ever going to beat Octane and Slasher in that situation. And supposedly the rest of his team, TJ and co, just said like, okay, you know, just get good, bro, just like aim, you know, just shoot straighter basically. But yeah, Crimsix doesn't necessarily agree with that one, and then TJ saying, like, not a Mickey Mouse ring, like a fake ring like you got in Modern Warfare when it was online, and you know, all this type of good stuff. So then he comes back with the following: trade me to 100 Thieves gladly. So saying that, like, okay, if you guys had Octane instead of me on that OpTic Gaming squad then, and I was on 100 Thieves, we would have still absolutely smoked you or that 100 Thieves team if, well, Crim was a part of it. Getting Octane still doesn't fix the main three problems of that OpTic Gaming team. You still only have one ICR, you still have no grapple player, should be you, but you can't do anything. And to finally take the trash out and do your chores, you delinquent dropout bum. Continues as well, speaking of the Mickey Mouse ring, thanks for the free house, moron. Spent the whole year complaining about the game, finally reaching on Modern Warfare full potential, which still wasn't even very good, right? Because TJ at the start of the year was like, well, he wasn't a good player by any means. And well, later on he actually kind of got decent, and then right at the end of the World Championship in that top 4 potential match, whoever won that got top 4. I'm pretty sure it was the top 4 match. OpTic Gaming then lost to, well, OpTic Chicago, or Chicago Huntsman at the time, OpTic Chicago now. Crazy how all these team changes and branding swaps have happened over the off-season, but he lost that 1v1 on Arklov Peak to Envoy, and well, TJ ended up being the Iceman, ended up losing that one, of course, and well, sucks to suck, you absolutely suck, says Crimsix. So yeah, definitely initially I thought this started off kind of as a bit of banter, but maybe by the end, Crim was actually kind of frustrated that TJ implied that, well, swapping out for Octane would have actually won them that World Championship, and this is kind of what they're talking about. You might not be able to see TJ Halley on this team all the way over the right-hand side, actually, just about can. But yeah, this is what they're talking about here. The World Championship in the Black Ops 4 season. They come top 3 to, you know, getting absolutely swept by 100 Thieves in that match to end up losing in the losers finals. And TJ saying, look, if we had a proper ICR like a guy like Octane who can actually shoot straight, then we would have won that World Championship and I'd have had a proper ring. TJ, of course, staying on the OpTic Gaming Los Angeles squad throughout the course of the season. Wasn't a good Modern Warfare season for them, and now on Los Angeles Thieves as well, alongside Slasher, Kenny, and Temp, as we talked about earlier today, as it does seem right now. So just to set the scene a little bit more for this TJ versus Crimsix drama, this is what Crimsix had to say at the start of the 2020 season, where effectively saying, look, there were a lot of personal issues within our Black Ops 4 OpTic team. It was myself, that being Crimsix of course, Karma and TP versus Dashy, Scump, and TJ Halley. The wrong people got too much power. The ego that came from fans who only look at numbers and stats. The people who really understand that it's creating egos. Imagine spending an entire year of your career babysitting. And so, well, continues with this. I want to get in my former team back for everything. I want to put them in the dirt. All this type of good stuff here. Like, you know, how can you be a grown adult and not know how to set an alarm clock? Imagine trying to explain that to other teams who made everyone wait on us. It was embarrassing out of talking about his old Black Ops 4 roster with TJ being one of the main culprits for this type of stuff. So yeah, certainly intrigued to hear your thoughts on this in the comment section below. Then he gets a bit of a reply here. So Crim was hot dog water at Black Ops 4 champs. Crim, like, he continues the Twitter rampage saying, look, okay, 4th highest KD until Sunday. Like, you know, what do you mean? You know, did you even watch Modern Warfare champs? My champs MVP trophy says otherwise. So yeah, Crim going on a bit of a rampage, as we can see. Then he gets on the Reddit, of course. Only in COD can you win a world championship, perform lights out at the opponent's strong maps, completely dismantle a team that hasn't lost that specific map, this being Atlanta FaZe on Gunrunner Search and Destroy during the entirety of 2020, win champs MVP, and still manage to see awful opinions like this day in, day out. And well, continues as well to talk about some of the stuff which is going on with Scump as well. Like, you know, he just doesn't stop, baby. And he continues with this. You guys are all so biased, it is ridiculous. If you truly think any single ICO in the league could single-handedly match both Octane and Slasher by himself, you are mistaken. Not to mention the second best grapple Sorg in the entire league. So yeah, I mean, just a lot of entertaining stuff right here. Crimsix doesn't seem to stop, and he hasn't been slowing down the last few days. There also was some other drama on the timeline as well. So Silly, a couple of weeks ago now, came out with this, announcing my new personal coaching and gameplay review service. So if you're an amateur team or something, you can pay Silly $75 an hour, and he'll look through all your stuff. Do you feel like you're hitting a skill gap? I'll help you reach your goals and compete competitively, also offering team or group packages. So yeah, pretty cool for Silly to go down this direction, maybe kind of hinting at what might be next for him after, well, his playing days are over. We then get this from Methods. So Methods comes out yesterday. Sillinger's charging $75 for coaching. So whoever buys that from him, pay me $250 and I'll help you unlearn whatever it is he teaches you. He's saying, okay, that's a complete rip-off. But Silly does not hold back. You've been on a good team for 5 years longer than me and have a fraction of my earnings. Silly, of course, a Call of Duty World Champion on Evil Geniuses in 2018. You had to convince players from outside the US that you could compete with all the other main ARs, which is, yeah, pretty funny, saying that you wouldn't even be on the league if you weren't on Toronto Ultra with guys outside the US. And you know, accuracy says, like, you know, from trolling to fighting words, it comes out as well with this. So anyway, I did start blasting. So yeah, a bit of a, well, some daggers certainly being thrown here on the timeline. This also I thought was pretty interesting yesterday from the amateur side. So BreakingPoint.gg are coming out with these top 20 Modern Warfare Challengers players, and well, the top 10 through 6 was Bids, Sibilance, Fire, Emigrant Chain, and Standy. I'm not exactly sure how the guys calculated all of this stuff and put together the figures. I think it was a lot of it was like KD based and statistics based and stuff like that, which means that some of the European players might be getting slightly higher weighted, given the fact they probably had like better KDs because they were playing slightly worse competition, you could argue, than the North American players. Therefore, guys like Sibilance, guys like Fire, who are, you know, guys like Standy that you could argue should be top 5, are actually in this kind of top 5 to top 10 range. But, you know, at the end of the day, is it really a big deal? Like, who really cares about it? It's just a ranking at the end of the day. And, well, still pretty cool to be recognized on something like this, in my opinion, at the very least. However, there was certainly some, well, once again, some shots being fired on the timeline. So we get some replies to this from Tom Gravity, actually. To be honest, the fact I'm not in the top 20 is absolute comedy. Guess I was awful last year. Sibilant says, look, get me off this list. I don't want to be compared to none of these phonies. I don't think Fire beat us once last year, and he's ranked above you and me. My stats from last year do not lie. In NA, I had all these kind of stats, so yeah, they cannot help themselves. Guys talented, don't get me wrong, but come on, man, do people watch or do they listen? Taking my spot, I don't want to be compared to none of these people. So yeah, certainly saying that, okay, Fire is just absolute trash. We're way better than this guy, which I just thought was pretty entertaining. They continued as well with the following. So yeah, this thread continues, and Fire comes back, look, what do you mean, Bids? Thoughts? I don't care, it's an opinion. We are all talented at the end of the day. So I suppose a good opinion from Fire here to finish off the threads. But yeah, maybe it's pretty easy for him, given the fact that it seems like he's going to be on a league team in the Paris Legion. He's kind of big chilling. The other guys are, well, probably in a more difficult, precarious situation, you could certainly argue. And just the last thing I wanted to mention before we finish off the video here, we talked about Center a couple of days ago as well. Actually, it was in yesterday's video. Him, well, talking a bit of smack over at Aches' side. I miss Modern Warfare, he says. You really don't know what you have until it is gone. I have no idea if he's saying this legitimately. Actually, as Crode says right here, that's a droppable offense, but Doug might have got hacked, surely. So I'm not actually sure if Center actually likes this game, if he's just taken the mick, because he certainly said, well, Modern Warfare maybe wasn't his favorite title already. 2020 more generally wasn't his best year as an individual and as a Call of Duty competitor. But yeah, kind of mind-blowing opinion in my opinion, but maybe he genuinely believes it. It's the Call of Duty cycle in effect once again. Intrigued to hear your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm to know you enjoyed this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well, and help grow the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you for watching as always. Take care, and I will see you next time.
Hold the objective. Oh my god.
What? This is why you die mid when you do shit like that.
Oh my god.
Give me the last one. Give me the last one.
Get the last one, bro.
You gotta get it. You gotta get it. Oh.
Damn.
Oh my god. I didn't even get to see what happened.
Keep that up.
You're about to see it.